Here's another unfortunate story coming out of Glen Burnie, Maryland, I believe. A 22-year-old man who went for his driver's test I can't even fucking speak. Maybe it's because I had drank too much fucking Mountain Dew knockoff. A 22-year-old man ended up going for his driver test, but ended up leaving in handcuffs because the examiner became suspicious about a certain odor emanating from a car. Well, if I knew anything, I ended up finding out that someone on my floor was smoking pot. I know now that it smells like skunk. And I bet this guy did too. News outlets report that the examiner alerted the troop at the Motor Vehicle Administration Office. He searched the car, and the Maryland State Police, according to the report, said the search found nearly a pound of marijuana, a scale, more than $15,000 in cash, and a handgun loaded with a 30-round magazine. I know what he's going to be needing. He's going to need Perry Mason to defend him. Am I right, Ozzy? Current time now 9:14 p.m. on the East Coast, and let's see if we can get a story that's not any sort of major news story that would have dragged everybody's mood down. How about this out of Thermal, California? Don't you just hate it when the car dealer ends up selling you a lemon? Well, this car technically had lemons. Authorities say a man has been arrested in Southern California after deputies found about 800 pounds worth of stolen lemons inside of his car. Oh, I'm sorry, not 800 pounds worth, 800 pounds in weight of stolen lemons in his car. Yeah, I'm going to let that sink in for you for a little bit. There we go. Riverside County Sheriff's official says 69-year-old Dionisio Ferros, I probably mispronounced that, I'm sorry, was arrested Friday and had to be booked on a charge of theft of agricultural products. Deputies were investigating recent farm thefts when they stopped Fierro's car on Thermal Friday morning. Inside his car, there were several large bags of freshly picked lemons stolen, they say, from a nearby farm. Telephone number for Fierro's could not be located in public records, and it wasn't immediately clear if he had an attorney who could comment on the allegations. Ooh, you are dirty, dirty, dirty. Do you want mad? I'll give you mad. Here's something out of Colorado where a woman had been cited for driving under the influence and reckless driving when she crashed her bike into the back of a car. An Aspen police report says the 30-year-old woman had a half-full beer in a water bottle cage when her bicycle collided with a parked vehicle. Aspen Times reported the woman told the officer she was riding her road bike and texting while she hit the back of a parked Subaru Forester. The cop says he noticed the Subaru's back window was shattered and the car's tailgate had a large dent and crack, but seriously? You're going to try to be driving under the influence? Wheels or no wheels? You're still drunk? Fucking. Seriously. This is a fucking mad world we're dealing with. Or maybe it's just a seasonal mad. Well, want to hear your I can't believe this happened to somebody else instead of me story? Well, here it is out of North Carolina. The sheriff's office of Wilmington thought it made a huge drug bust, seizing 13 pounds of what appeared to be fentanyl worth $2 million on the street, found in a home along with other drugs and paraphernalia. A field test indicated that it was a opioid, which is justifying a house of charges against 3 suspects. But the state lab said, sorry, this is not an opioid. it wasn't even fucking close to an opioid that they were looking for. They sent this to a private lab. The results have arrived this week. Unfortunately, the New Hanover Sheriff's Lieutenant, Jerry Brewer, ended up having to tell WECT TV that the powder seized way back in July of this year was $8 worth of sugar from the grocery store. Duh! Dumbasses. Alright, kids, shut up. It's story time. Here's another story through the Associated Press out of Pittsburgh, New York. A woman shopping for groceries said she ended up having a bad surprise when she found a snake in her shopping cart while picking out produce at a New York supermarket. Laura Wolitsky says that she was at Wegmans in Pittsburgh Monday evening when her daughter ended up spotting a hitchhiking reptile wrapped around the bottom of the cart. The Rochester Democrat and Chronicle reports the woman then walked the cart outside, had her daughter tell customer service there was a snake on it. Wolski was able to flag down 2 employees that removed the snake, placed it in a nearby wooded area. A Wegmans spokesperson says in a statement, this was an isolated incident. A biology professor has identified the pictured snake. It's not showing up on my end, but their snake is a non-venomous milk snake, which is a common snake species. But still, I imagine that lady had a fucking heart attack. I mean, would you have a heart attack finding out there's a fucking snake in your fucking groceries? Oh, perish the thought. Oh boy, another good old news story coming out of this week. Oh, in fact, it was just yesterday. 2 New Mexico men are facing charges that the police say the pair went on a shopping spree. Oh wait, I'm sorry. It wasn't a shopping spree. It was a stealing spree of trash cans around the town of Santa Fe. The Santa Fe, New Mexican reports 50-year-old Kenneth Brooks and 19-year-old Nicola Wadeleveld, I don't even know how to pronounce that last name, were arrested Sunday after a security guard spotted them pushing rolling trash carts with trash cans inside from the Santa Fe Community Convention Center. A criminal complaint says police found the 2 men next to the 2 carts with other trash carts loaded inside. Documents say Wade told the police he intended to use trash carts for personal use, and one stolen bin was valued at more than $3,200. Okay. Seriously. What were they thinking? I bet they got trash on their mind. What's on your mind? Here's one last story to wrap things up before I run out of time and run out of songs to play. How about something that's actually a little bit serious? Because the last thing you want to deal with while you're on the beach on the last days of summer, especially with Labor Day coming up, is having to find out there's a mine near the beach, such as Brownsville, Washington, as the Coast Guard and Navy bomb technicians had to go and detonate what appeared to be an unidentified mine floating around Puget Sound between Brownsville Marina and the Bainbridge Islands. The object was reported about 2 p.m. this past Tuesday. Initial inspection of the bored mine showed it had decades of marine growth, and at about 5 p.m., Navy divers decided to secure a long line to the device and towed it with a small boat. It ended up being detonated without incident around 8:15 p.m. that day, according to KIRO-TV. Authorities still ask residents along the waterfront to stay inside and away from the beaches as a precaution. I mean, you really don't want to be dealing with whatever came out of that little mine. Who knows what I've been. Oh well, I better get some ads. Whoa, I'm starting to get some requests out of the ass. So while I'm trying to prep you some, and trying to do some other songs that I would like to share with you guys as well, because it's a two-way street thing. Let's see if I can get some. Well, hang on. Why do you always reset the mic? There you are. Just a little gain. There we go. Hopefully I won't be blasting. I don't know why it's always quiet like that, but here's a story to work out with you guys while I'm trying to get requests all sorted out. Like, somebody requested I Leave Vavon and Real Big Fish, so give me a minute to locate those. But so far, I've got a story. Something out of St. Louis through the Associated Press, where we have a man who is a tenant of a now tiny apartment with a unique layout where the kitchen and the bathroom are in the same place. Toilet, bathtub, oven, sink, all in one room. We're talking about a 200 square foot apartment in St. Louis's tiny Central West End. This ad and photo for a $525 per month. What? $525 a month? Shit. Oh, but anyway, the ad and photo for this apartment appeared on several websites and had people kind of flushed with excitement, such as Harold Cable of SF Shannon Real Estate, who says new tenant would love it. Okay, I kind of said that wrong. Oops. But oh well. This 111-year-old building was originally housing 12 luxury apartments, but around the time of the Great Depression, according to Carabelle, it had to be remade into 50 smaller units, and the studio of this bath and kitchen combo being the smallest among them, because, well, you can't really waste space under the Great Depression, can you? Toilet and kitchen combo aside, the apartment has a lot to offer, including refurbished hardwood floors and new windows. So you can't be picky, especially when you're trying to deal with, I don't know, figuring out how to fucking afford $525 a month on an apartment like this. Oh. Tip, millennials, find built public housing that is based on your income. That way you don't have to deal with such crazy ass high rent prices. Alright, with that out of the way, I might as well bring up one good fact. Don't fucking spam Billy Joe Armstrong with the joke. It was pretty much a sad song, and he really does not need that kind of bullshit. Also, what I don't need is another more bullshit. This time I'm going to get you two guys' stories before I totally forget, and probably ended up closing early. Who knows? I'm thinking of going an hour, half hour later. I don't know. I'm starting to have a little bit too fun with this. But too bad I had to deal with a lot of other shit before. So here's the story about the Wisconsin pilot. All right. This one's out of Wisconsin. Oshkosh. Authorities say they were trying to arrest this man who was on a domestic abuse related charge when he decided to flee into an airplane before crashing into the cornfield. Oh, shades of the SeaTac incident, are we? That one guy who just decided to snap at the Seattle Tacoma airport, took a plane, flew around, and then crashed, saying he wasn't even right in the head. All that stuff. So, are we really going to have these copycats trying to take off in an airplane like GTA? I don't know. The Winnebago County Sheriff's Office had to go and deal with them at the Whitman Regional Airport in Oshkosh Friday night, trying to arrest this 47-year-old, violating a restraining order and a bunch of other charges. So, for 18 days, investigators had to check locations where he was known frequently, including a hangar where he kept a plane that he had. The department said he took off despite instructions from the control tower to hold until officers arrive, nearly hitting a police car before being airborne. The twin-engine plane crashed about 2 hours later near Waupaca, 40 miles away. Pilot was hospitalized with serious injuries that weren't life-threatening. Charges should be happening right about now. We really don't need another repeat of the SeaTac incident now, do we? That's the last thing we need. Also, we don't need another fucking criminal that's going to be like, speaking of the dead, because Wake Me Up When September Ends dealt with the death, I believe. Some asshole in Mexico City had made off with a hearse with a dead body inside. Tlaquepaque Police Department said on Facebook page, this guy stolen a hearse which had been ready to take the body of an 80-year-old man from a hospital from a neighboring Guadalajara to a funeral home. This 40-year-old man ended up seeing the keys that were left in the vehicle. Somebody was fucking stupid. And decided to take it out on a joyride Friday night. Cops were alerted. They spotted the hearse along the highway, detained the suspect, whose name was given only as Anibal Salin. Police say Saturday he had been turned over to the prosecutors. Hearse and the body were recovered. I wish I could make a fucking joke on that end, but seriously, some people are just fucking nuts. So this is the kind of thing that would only happen here in the Midwest. You guys would have car thieves and fucking jewelry thieves and the like. And what do I have? Gas thieves. Something out of Edgar County, Illinois, courtesy of WAXI, a classic oldie station. Edgar County Sheriff's Department is asking for help in finding some area thieves where there's like two guys in a truck and they've been stealing gas at a farm southeast of Vermilion. Gas thieves, guys. It's like some of you guys will be jacking cars and some of you guys will be stealing jewels or jacking TVs and shit like that. Meanwhile, out here in the sticks, you're stealing gas and copper and shit like that. Only here in the Midwest. Like, ungodly. Some people would love to just suddenly be like this guy out of Fort Edward, New York, where he's going to be living large thanks to his decision to buy some Slim Jims. The New York lottery officials say Monday 73-year-old Dale Farron won a $10 million prize on a cash spectacular scratch-off ticket. The Fort Edward man said he bought a $30 ticket at a local Cumberland Farms convenience store while buying Slim Jim snacks for his dog, Boots. Seriously, he scratched the ticket, he ended up winning, drove straight home, and asked why I checked the ticket for him. He'll be receiving a lump sum payment of $6.7 million after required withholdings. He'll be using the windfall to pay off the mortgage, make home improvements, and help his children and grandchildren. Yeah, isn't that sweet? But it doesn't come very lucky, according to another story from the other extreme of luck. Out of Bridgeport, Connecticut, nearby New York, Connecticut woman ended up mistakenly lit a stick of dynamite instead of a candle during a power outage and ended up suffering severe injuries last Thursday night. Authorities say the tragic accident happened to the 30-year-old mother of two on Lindy Street after thunderstorms passed through the Bridgeport area. Family tried to go to Home Depot buying emergency lighting, but the store was closed. So they got back home. They got what they believe were candles left behind in the basement by previous residents. Little did it turn out, it was a quarter stick of dynamite. So the woman had to be taken out of hospital after she got blown up. With extreme injuries to her hands, she ended up losing fingers, suffered serious facial injuries in the explosions that luckily did not injure anybody else. See? You should be fine for, being just in the middle.
Check yourself, Q. Check yourself, Q.
So, here's a story. Well, two more, considering, how you hate to deal with fines and shit. Gotta get that money somehow, so they'll just penalize you and make you pay for it. For example, out of Hampton, New Hampshire, a man accused of kicking a seagull that tried to eat his cheeseburger at a New Hampshire beach has been fined $124. A police investigation, yes, this is true, They were investigating the report of a bystander at Hampton Beach earlier this summer, reporting man named Nate Frankelis, middle name Dumbass, has just returned from getting a cheeseburger and fries, was sitting on the sand, and then, according to him, Seagulls got the burger, spun around with his leg, shooed one away, struck the bird. When it said it appeared the bird's leg was injured and it struggled to fly away. And seagulls are protected under federal law. The fucking beach rats with wings have fucking been protected legally. And it's still a shithole in fucking New Hampshire. Not New Hampshire, but the New England states. Guess what? Someone else also got fined this past week as well. This little sarcastic sign in the middle of a Connecticut restaurant and asking people to not let their dogs pee on the restaurant's outside flower pot has cost the owner $250. The owner of Duck's Place in New Haven, Duck Ginn, tells New Haven Independent he was disgusted with people allowing their dogs to urinate on his pots. So he decided that a humorous sign was a good way to discouraging people from letting pets relieve themselves there. So he decided to go, attention dog owners, this is a pay-per-pee flower pot. Pay inside or leave your address and we'll kindly return the favor. The city's public space enforcement officer says Game broke 2 city ordinances for being a public nuisance and issued a fine Thursday, and he's planning to appeal. You'll just take money out of the citizens any way you can. This is some mundane fucking shit. How are you going to defend yourself against a bird? How are you going to defend yourself against people's pets taking a leak on your fucking precious flowers? Or hell, fucking hell. Why not just, I don't know, not have a pot there? If you're a Red Sox fan, you're not going to probably live this down. According to the Associated Press out of Somerville, Massachusetts, the Boston Red Sox sadly didn't clinch this year's American League East Division Championship, but somebody already made a fucking banner to mark the accomplishment. That wouldn't have happened in the first place. Boston area friends Louis Lacuzzi, James Amala, and Randy Baldessari said they found a banner on the road Monday morning after apparently fell off a delivery truck in Somerville, Massachusetts. But the trio held onto the banner for 2 days, hoping to be rewarded with game tickets or a chance to meet their favorite players. But instead, the men brought the banner to Fenway Park Wednesday afternoon and ended up returning empty-handed. Because, yeah, poor Red Sox. Let me guess, there's always next year, right? Fucking Christ. Actually, 2 related stories because somebody posted this in the news desk, and I also had something else related to it as well. Everybody's really dissing up on Fortnite. I'm afraid this popular game is, it's starting to get on some people's nerves. And, yeah, I'm afraid it's starting to become a very bad thing. Oh, don't you dare play this fucking... Okay. According to Fortnite, it caused a fucking spike in divorces and a guy going out on a shooting rampage or something like that. According to news.com.au, as many as 5,000 marriages in the United Kingdom could dissolve this year as a result of the viral video game sensation Fortnite. Viral. According to a research by a divorce specialist website, DivorceOnline.co.uk conducted a study into 200 divorce petitions that have been handled this year and cited the multiplayer shooter game as the grounds for many splits. Citing the game's drug-like qualities and describing Fortnite as one of the most addictive digital games ever played, the firm decided to look through its records for this year, noticing an increase in inquiries where Fortnite has been mentioned as part of the reason someone wanted to file a divorce. The spokesman for the company says, no surprise to us that more and more people are having relationship problems because of digital addictions. Well, citing Fortnite? Well, yeah, people can be addicted to games and it has been pretty popular over the past, how should we say it, 20, 30 years, but signing Fortnite, you're just saying that because it's a fucking popular game that even kids have to ask for tutors to know how to not suck at it. And people who are probably grown up who also suck at this. Which this guy should have gotten something out of ABC 6 Huntington Island, where a 45-year-old Long Island man got arrested, threatening to shoot an 11-year-old boy after losing him in Fortnite. The boy received harmful messages from a guy named Michael Alaperti via text and Xbox voice messages straight out of Monday night. Like, holy shit. How many sore losers this is going to take to go, okay, I think you need to get off the fucking computer and get just some fucking good company. Oh, ironic. I queued that up because it's also a song from Queen. So, yeah, how about you get off your Fortnite, stop crying like a baby, get yourself some good company. Hell, probably get yourself some ice cream, some chocolate, some anything. Just calm your nerves. Just stop trying to shoot up people because you can't take the fact that you're a fucking loser. Get some good company for God's sake. And here is one last oddball news story before I play through a few songs and interrupt one of them to wrap up tonight. Something that you probably shouldn't do no matter how drunk you get. Be at Yellowstone. Park officials had to ticket a man who was caught on video walking a little bit closer to Old Faithful. Man's actions between eruptions, which happens every hour or so, startled a crowd, a couple hundred people at the park's most famous attraction, and the most lethal, because that's an active volcano. He decided at one point, laying on the ground near this bulging hole. Some people thought he was going to jump, and then he stood back up and appeared to have urinated into the geyser as a park ranger repeatedly yelled at him to get the fuck back to safety. He eventually came back to the boardwalks where they cited him for walking off the boardwalks in a thermal area. Well, if it lasts longer than 4 hours, might as well consult your doctor. Alright, time for a request, courtesy of Tyrion. Here's Where Have All the Cowboys Gone by Paula Cole.